Diana Stevenson, we're at the opening of your Quarry Garden in Piddinghoe and you're raising funds for a new local hydro turbine project. But can you tell us a bit more about the idea behind the garden?
Well, it's a difficult space, and when we first came it was overgrown. And it's really about working with the space and the conditions that you've got to actually create something nice. But the idea is that you can have beautiful flowers and trees and lovely things, but you can also have wildness, and that's all right. We've got 2 beehives, natural beehives here, one in the tree and one in the balcony. And we have an awful lot of butterflies and moths and dragonflies, and there are a huge variety of birds. So it is possible to do it.
So, hello, you are the gardener.
I am. My name's Martin from Aviemore Landscapes.
Well, more later, but let's join Baroness Janet Whittaker down at the Quarry Garden now because she's about to cut the ribbon.
I'm Janet Whittaker and I live just over the road, so I have the pleasure of seeing this for many years, and I must say it gives me great pleasure to be able to declare it open. I did find out that the word paradise means garden. Apparently there's an ancient Persian word, faradis. Really, this whole garden is about an idea becoming a reality, and not just the idea of a beautifully designed garden, but it's a place where all sorts of ideas can come to fruition. And I now declare this garden open.
Martin, back to you. Can you tell us more about the garden's story?
So this originally was a hand-dug quarry, so what you see here isn't natural. The kiln is just over the road, and they would have hand-dug this with picks and transported it to be made into lime products for agriculture, I guess. And that's why we named it the Quarry Garden. All of this site was a quarry. I think the real story down here is that it is a chalk garden, and it's a space that has been untouched and left to wildlife for many years, since the 80s when the house was built. What is particularly challenging about this space is that it only gets sunlight for about 2 hours of the day, and the ground is incredibly poor. The chalk is in the ground as well, so there's very little topsoil here. What there is a boggy clay. When I first saw the space, you couldn't see anything in here. It was completely overgrown. There was just this amazing architecture hanging over this wilderness. This house was inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. And so really it was, well, what do you do with this space? This bank was completely overgrown with brambles and nettles. Really nothing like the diversity you see now. I think that what is really unique is the cliff. And you can see the ivy coming off the cliff, the trees that have made it its home, the changing nature of the cliff, the way it erodes constantly. There's a big rock fall down right at the end. But when you're down here, you can constantly hear the chalk falling. The trees, as you can see, the roots are all being exposed at the top. The birds that like it in there, there's little holes in the cliff where nesting happens. So you had this backdrop, and to me the ivy cascading down reminds me of waterfalls and water and movement, even though there's no movement in this garden. I think it's actually a really positive story, in that a garden which felt impossible to create, or a space that felt impossible to create, has actually emerged.